G'day Warbanders. Today I'm looking at On the Western Front. Now I've played around 50 hours of this game and I believe it's a criminally underrated game. It's a WW1 strategy game or tactical game where you're dealing with managing a division on the Western Front, but there's also other theaters. And I just sort of wanted to show you this game because it's gone under the radar a lot. And I'm just sad to see it not get the recognition it deserves, because I believe this is the most realistic WW1 game I've ever played. And there's no other games that scratch this itch, like On the Western Front. There's only another game that does it, and it's really simple. I won't name it, but I think it's called Great War on the Western Front, something like that. But this is the most realistic WW1 game I've ever played. Again, there's just so much detail in this game. So I want to show you a game. It's a really slow-paced game, like WW1 is supposed to be. And as you can see, you can select multiple theaters. This is quite unusual for games. In strategy games, usually they only give you one theater in the First World War. But here the developer allows you to fight in Italy, Verdun, Argonne, Eastern Front, and Western Front. I played Verdun, it's pretty cool. There's like forts in the game you can defend. Very nice. I will play the Western Front. And you get to select every nation, or almost a couple of nations in World War I. Britain, France, and Germany, like the main sort of factions in this period. And I'm going to play Germany. Each faction has different circumstances, like machine gun doctrine, efficiency. So like they have some differences. And I believe that the Germans, of course, they're going to be focusing on defense, obviously defense in depth. I believe they get less reserves, I'm not sure. But, you know, Germany is always the hard mode faction of World War I games. And here we are, guys. We're in the game. A pop-up has come up with saying the day of the next offensive has been set for 2 o'clock, I believe, at March 25th. So that's when you can attack enemy trenches and do all sorts of things, like advance on the front line. But as you can see, guys, you're dealing with a whole trench line in a division level. It goes down to the platoon level. So as you can see, there's a second A company from the 2nd Rifle Battalion, 1st Rifle Brigade. So as you see, guys, it's really grand scale. And you start in 1915, January 1st, so right at the start of the war when they start digging trenches. And as you can see, you're dealing with a massive frontage here, and you got to go through all these trenches and take them over. And the enemy can do the same thing. So the AI, it operates in the same rules as you, which is nice. And they can also launch their own defenses, but we don't know when they're going to launch them. But there's so much detail in this game. You have morale. This is division level. This is division level. So morale across the division, supply levels, overall supply level, and readiness all play a massive factor in combat. And then we have our headquarters, which is where we see our overall stats. We also see our research, or I don't know, it's sort of like a research tree, right? And you can explore multiple avenues of development. So the more enemies we kill, or the more of our casualties we take, we start to develop new weapons, new things to use. So you've got creeping barrage. So that allows you to, you know, do that sort of creeping barrage maneuver where you're moving troops as the artillery comes in. And we got tanks, which is kind of awesome. Like they actually have tanks in the game, but they come in later. And you got all sorts of buffs like reinforced supply carts, heavy artillery, so you can get to access to more artillery pieces. And you also got medals if you do like good things in the battlefield, like, you know, take more lots of land, all that. And here you have your generals, which are important for automation, because there's lots of things to do in the game. So like you build trenches, you build defenses, you do trench raids, you do all sorts of things, right? And I can change them here, get someone with better organization so they can do their role better. But they're mainly for just doing these automation. You see artillery pits, blockhouses. This game has it all, guys. All the defensive works. And We'll go into the order of battle. As you can see, you're dealing with an entire division. So you've got brigades, battalions, artillery battalions, engineers. So these are really important for your campaign. You know, medical companies, therefore, like, you know, blunting the blow of casualties when you're doing a massive offensive. You're going to like save the men that are dying, right? In no man's land. And you also got your supply companies, super important. Logistics was super important in the First World War, and it's represented in the game very well. You build like kitchens, and you refill dugouts with artillery shells. Like every individual shell you fire from artillery battalions matters, because you can run out of shells and you go, oh shit, I can't find any more. So you got to conserve your artillery ammunition in this game, which is really important. I like that. And you also have your standard rifle brigades, your foot sloggers, and yeah, they sort of just run across no man's land. You hope you win. But another thing this game has is air warfare, which I didn't think it had, but you can do multiple things. You got all these planes at your service, like albatrosses, rumblers, and they all have their own stats, like, you know, readiness, like their accuracy, like their flying skill, their observation skill. So this is important for recon, so you can see what the enemy is doing. Let's see if they're built up in one area. It's all about having a breakthrough, right? You can do breakthroughs in this game, but it's really difficult because, you know, it's World War I, right? So there's so many transpositions, and I can, yeah, this is like the air activity space. So you'll see like your fighters automatically fighting in the skies. One thing I don't like about this mechanic, this air war mechanic, is that you have to have it automated at all times. You can't do it manually. You can do it manually, right? Patrol planner, but like it sucks. Like you don't want to keep doing all this shit, right? You don't want to do this all this shit by yourself. That's why I automate most things, except like really important things like offensives and all that. And then we have a schedule, which is like sort of the automate. Like, you know, you can schedule stuff for your commands to do without you doing it physically yourself, right? And this is really important for, like, you know, having daily tasks of like building wire across no man's land, because you want to prepare for like the enemy attacking you as well, that you don't know when they're going to attack. So you gotta be always be vigilant in this game. And that's like your main tabs you're gonna go through. Now, there's not many videos in this game, but it's really cool. So much depth in this game that it's just crazy how no one's talking about it. And then we can launch raids. So raids are really important. So this is the raid button. You can launch different types of raids, like take and hold, like, you know, do smaller attacks if you want. And you also have prisoner raids, which is good for getting intel. There's also fog of war, so I can't really see. So this is like an estimation of where the enemy is, and this is all their artillery pieces in the back. And as you can see, your trench lines are really underdeveloped, so you got to like build more defenses, because this is not going to be enough to hold off entire offensives. And we also have elevation, so that's really important because it determines line of sight. So you can build trench lines on top of hills to get like a bigger, you know, line of sight. You can also build behind hills so you don't get shot. So elevation matters. You also have underground. You can build tunnels. You can set off mines under enemy lines, which I think is super cool. I haven't done it yet, but very nice. And this is my troop count. So I have like around 9,000 men under my command. I also have 100,000 tools, 100,000 ammunition. So everything's tracked in the game. Everything has a stat. So let's have a look. So we've got morale. We got ammunition. We got readiness. We got cohesion. We got tools, which is used for building trenches. And you also got food and water. As you can see, I can tell this medical platoon to build shit. So I can build showers. I can build field hospitals. You ideally want to place them in areas where you can't get shelled, because like in real life, if you leave the trenches, you're going to get shelled to death by enemy artillery. And that's a huge opponent of the game. Artillery is super important. I can set on bombardment right now. So say if I want to start up in a, like, get ready for an offensive, now I want to soften up the enemy, I draw this, and then I wait for the artillery pieces from the back to fire, so they come up to shoot, and I'll pass time, and you'll see that my artillery is starting to open up, and they're bombarding it. I'm on 6 speed, so this takes a while. I can even slow down time, and it slows down, and you can do this over like multiple days if you have enough ammunition, right? But you don't want to waste all your ammunition on this, and you can get rid of enemy trenches, right? And it's actually important to level no man's land, because as you can see, I'm blowing up these houses. I need them gone because I don't want enemies coming. The houses can hide people, right? If they come across no man's land, I won't have line of sight. So you want to like get rid of shit in no man's land. I really like that mechanic. It shows you how important sort of leveling the no man's land was, because you don't want stuff blocking you. Like, this is bad. Like, you want to level this and build machine gun nests to have like clear line of sight. And you would build, like, say, if you could build a trench up here and build a machine gun nest. As you see, there's a machine gun nest right there, or a machine gun platoon. You put them in a pillbox, build a pillbox, and yeah, very cool. And the only problems or critiques I would have about this game is that it takes too long for offensives to happen. So we're in January 1st, and we can only attack when an offensive begins, and the offensive is in March 25th, which is kind of long. Like, this game is long. I'll show you. I'll speed it up, and it only goes really slowly, like hour by hour. It's very slow. So this is a very slow burn game. You're not going to get to a lot of fighting, and as you can see, it's winter now. So the weather changes, that affects the battlefield. You can get muddy. Your troops can get slower in the mud. They can get sicker when it's raining. Everything's molded in this game, guys, and it's insane how no wargamings, like wargamers and shit like that, are talking about this game. The UI leaves something to be desired, so it is a bit clunky at times with the movement and the order delay. There's actually order delay in the game, so like HQs, they deliver the orders, and that takes a while, so that can be a bit janky. And there's some jank in the game, but I believe the complexity, or the complex mechanics, it sort of just overrides that, because you get this awesome experience, this worldwide experience where you can get nowhere else. And yeah, the only problem is, again, it's a lot of waiting. Okay, it's like real life. It's like in the trenches, you're waiting for the next offensive to begin. And I kind of like that, and I kind of don't. I wish the developer like added some sort of mechanic and go, hey, I want to start the offensive now. But you can do like small attacks, right? So I will set off. But you actually can't take over enemy trenches until the next offensive begins, right? But you can stage little attacks. So let's say I want to attack through this forest, and I select all these dudes. Now this is going to be a pretty bloody affair, because it's daytime. I might survive, but we'll see what happens. I can set this up, and you'll see that my troops will go over the top automatically. And then as you can see, they're marching across, and now they're in hand-to-hand combat. And they're fighting right now. See, moving, they'll say in melee. Again, the combat is really like, it's all about numbers, right? Like First World War, and you can see the enemy is shifting all their troops to deal with me, which is really smart of it. And they're just, yeah, they're basically annihilated. But I just want to show you the combat, and they try to take prisoners and they fall back. It's so realistic, right? And as you can see, they're falling back, and sometimes the enemy will shell you as you're retreating. But yeah, you can do those little attacks, those little raids, but you don't want to overcommit. You don't want to lose too many troops, because once you lose this number up top here, it's kind of hard to get back. You gotta wait for supplies every month, and you have to replace troops by recalling divisions and like putting them in reserve and waiting for them to refill their stocks of men, and then they come back. So you got to be really diligent about resource management, manpower. Manpower is really important, because if I run out of manpower, I'm waiting on troops to get recruited. Like, you could be in a situation where the enemy can overrun you, and you can't do jack shit about it, right? So there's like tower defense mechanics in this game. Like, there's a lot of things that are doing the game. I really love it, right? And I would recommend this game to any sort of grognard or hardcore war gamer. It's a bit hard to play because the tutorials are really inefficient. There's a help area, so you go to help and it tells you all the mechanics, order of battle, the Eastern Front, Verdun, Osonzo, it's all the mountains and stuff, right? Aerodrome tells you every mechanic of the game. Luckily, you have to learn what's good and what's bad. And main thing is just staying in your trenches, building up defenses, and waiting for the next offensive. And yeah, that's my video, guys. I just wanted to showcase this game. It's really gone on the radar, and it's a shame the developer's continually updating it, right? He's still doing it, but like, there's not many reviews on Steam. Not many people have bought the game. It's kind of crazy, right? So I hope this is my sort of love letter to this game. As a World War I sort of history nerd as well, like I do like this period. I like looking at it. And yeah, give it a try. It is a bit janky and the graphics aren't appealing, but for me, as someone where graphics don't matter, like this is good. And you got these redoubts. Look at this game, man. And once you like advance to the enemy lines here, it starts a whole new map and you gotta do it all over again, but it's all randomly generated, right? So there's replayability in the game. So guys, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts about this game. Have you played this game? Do you think this game looks shit or bad? The gameplay specifically. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you give this game a try. But yeah, see you later. Bye.